What do you find rude to the point where it's almost like a tad offensive?
Easy. Lateness.
Oh, yeah, punctuality.
Punctuality. If people are late, I actually take
What do you always say?
Take it personally. Well, I always think if somebody agrees, if you agree to be somewhere at a certain time and I bust my bum to be there on time, but they don't, I'm like, well, you don't value my time, you only value yours. So I find that we had that with a guest, I won't say who, but we obviously had a guest walk in and it just stuffed up our whole day because they came at their own time. And that, like, I'm like, that's in my opinion, it's almost offensive. It's like, come on. That's me. What about you? What do you find?
I've got one, but I'm probably guilty of it too. That's the issue.
Yeah, go on.
Is when I'm very guilty of it.
That's my favourite. Go on.
Is when like you're having a conversation with someone and then they just look on their phone.
Yeah, you are guilty. You're going to be having a conversation with Dos and he's just watching videos.
But what? No, let's be more specific. So me and you, we see each other all the time and like it's, I don't know why. I shouldn't, but I don't classify it as that bad for me and you. It's more if I make plans to go out with a mate for dinner or a beer and I haven't seen him in ages and he's got his phone on the table and he's constantly just looking at his phone, like almost like he's... You're not engaged. You don't care.
I know. Well, actually, we had a meeting not long ago, remember? And the bloke would talk for like 20 minutes. This person we're talking to, he's talking. And when it came to one of us talking, he just whipped his phone out.
That's right.
Like, well,
see, that shitted me.
Chopped liver.
Yeah.
As you'd like to say.
Yeah. What am I, chopped liver?
Yeah. So that was quite rude that day too.
What?
When you're in a group of people and everybody makes plans and don't invite you along.
Oh, that's right.
We won't say when and where that was. But we obviously put this to you guys. But firstly, this segment's actually brought to you by Golfbox this week. So firstly, how have you found the Golfbox activation?
I love it.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. It's awesome. And the guests love it too. It's harder than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, is it?
Well, not for you. You smashed me.
I think I'm willing. I
don't think we can't let that happen.
Why?
Because
I'm playing for a charity.
Who's your charity?
RSPCA.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Dos thought it was the funniest thing of all time.
I don't know why I laughed when
he laughed his head off. It was very funny editing that back. But anyway, we do want to thank Golfbox. Obviously, the reason we thought of this too is there's very few places that require more etiquette than the great golf course.
Yeah.
And people, you know, if you have a hit with mates, most of the boys here like a hit of golf.
What are some basic golf etiquette?
Obviously, don't talk when someone else is. Yeah. Don't play a shot before somebody else.
Yeah.
I think it's...
what about clothing? What do you see?
It depends what kind of course, but that's important. Obviously, the one big one I always learnt was shadow. Make sure your shadow's never on somebody's on one.
I didn't never know that.
Yeah, so especially on a green, putting, like make sure...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's another big one that I've just lost. What about you? Do you have any that come to mind?
Golf?
Yeah.
No clue.
No clue. Just
I'm there for the free piss.
What about? Here's a big one on the golf course. Is before you play a game with somebody, is making sure everyone's on the same page with rules. So if you pick the golf ball, if you're going to drop a ball or you're going to lose ball, make sure everyone's on the same page because I might count my shots and you might not, or vice versa. So that's a big one. But of course, if you are going to play golf, where do you go, Dos? There's only one place.
Golfbox.
.com.
Straight to golfbox.com.au.
Fast and free,
but not just that. They just have everything. That's the thing, is you wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I mean,
why would you?
I need to head there actually. I need to buy some stuff.
Yeah, and I do too. And actually, if you haven't already, if you are a listener of the show, at this stage we have a lot more listeners than we do viewers. But if you are a listener of the show,
when you say viewers, you mean YouTube watchers?
Yeah, YouTube watchers. But go and check out some of the previous guests on the show. Have a crack at the Golfbox putting challenge. It's a lot of fun. You always find at the end of the podcast, and may as well have a look at the whole podcast while you're there because it's fantastic. So, here are some people who've written some things in for us, Dos, that they find rude to the point of offensive. And the first one is farting in bed.
Oh, well, I'm guilty of that.
I think what if you by yourself is fine, but sharing with somebody else, do you find that rude?
Nah.
If I don't think I've...
No, I don't find that rude at all.
That has come from a female.
Has it?
Yeah, so that maybe it's a woman's perspective.
I don't want to embarrass my girlfriend, but it goes both ways in our household, you know?
Well, there you go.
So I think that's why I don't find it that offensive, because just back and forth.
Yep.
People leaving the table when you are still eating. Do you find that rude?
I
don't find that rude.
No, I don't.
Unless you're...
Oh, actually, no. I think... Well, that's a great talking point. It's
For example, yesterday we had we went to my mum's house for lunch.
Yep.
And I was there with like my extended family, so auntie and uncle and cousin, and I'd finished my food as I always do before everyone else.
You just
I just went to the couch.
Yeah, that's rude.
Is it?
That's rude. What do you boys think? Everyone's nodding.
Oh, come on.
Bryce is a bit 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with my family.
What about starting before anybody else?
I like to wait.
I like to wait. But what about
you're like to the extreme of like, you are so respectful. Even if people go, no, it's fine. D's so...
Where was I? It happened the other day.
No, I'm not.
Where the hell was I the other day where somebody's food didn't... I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere.
Why do we do that?
I'm trying to remember for the life of me where I was. Was I with you?
Don't remember.
No, I remember well. Yeah, and like 4 out of the 5 food
meals
dishes came out, and there was one we're waiting for, and I just
did everyone else eat?
Eventually, because it did take a long time. But yeah, I always find a bit. I do. That's good talking point. This is interesting. When people put too much toilet paper inside the bowl.
I didn't understand that.
Well, it's probably clogging up toilets. Yeah.
So when people use too much toilet paper to wipe their
But
bum.
obviously the toilet is this is another place where people get highly offended by. If you seat up, like leaving it up, like do you find that offensive?
When what?
Well, if somebody leaves the seat up.
No.
No?
Do you?
No. But I think women do, typically. Because they obviously need to
sit down.
So
do you?
Well.
When you wee?
Yeah, sometimes.
He does.
Comfortable.
And you like to stand up to wipe your bum?
Yeah, they also got brought up last week. So
did it? Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Oh, there's just new boys here.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And they just
on that too, though.
Is that offensive?
What other toilet?
Well, spraying,
scrubbing the.
Here's one that irks. This grinds my gears.
Skitties in the bowl.
No. Well, no, but I've thought of one.
Do you clean your skitties?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so gross to say.
Tell you what's we talked about this. The grossest place in the world is any men's bathroom in any public place. Like it is. It's the most disgusting place on planet Earth.
Why do blokes spit? I actually saw a video the other day. It was Inspired Unemployed, and it was literally, why do all men spit? Like,
I don't know. But do you know what is funny? I saw this. We had this conversation of footy on the weekend. One of the boys was telling this story of a certain supporter at the club that he walked into the bathroom and he was pissing 3 steps back from the bowl and just pissing on the floor. I just didn't care. And for the whole function, there was just piss on the ground.
Are you serious?
An old bloke.
That's fucked.
I know. Look at his face.
No, that's just... I don't get that.
Well, here's one that I've...
Maybe he couldn't see it. Maybe it's...
Oh, you could probably hear it. But speaking of toilets, here's one that I do find offensive. When people... If you use the last of the toilet paper and you don't replace it.
Yeah.
Like, that can obviously leave you in all sorts of problem.
Or one thing I do is I don't... Like, when I'm finished with the toilet roll, I'll put the empty toilet roll. I might not even put it in the bin sometimes.
That annoys me. That irks me.
Yeah.
I don't like...
Bryce is pissed.
Why can't people clean up after themselves? I hate that. Like, if you use my car, you're good at this. In fairness. No, in fairness, you are. You always take your rubbish out, which I appreciate.
I must say, though, because you were always very strict on it. Yeah. So I'm used to it.
Well, people leaving coffee cup. Like, don't. I don't do it to you. You don't do it to me. And if you come into my room, leave my stuff alone. And if you make a mess, clean it up. It's not hard. Fuck. All right, next.
All right. Is it you or me?
You.
Oh, shit. Yeah, this is a good one. When I'm telling a story to someone and they start talking to someone else mid-story. Is that me?
That is rude. That is so rude. That's just saying I don't give a fuck about you. I had this happen. So we talked earlier about working in events, right? This happened to me once, and I was an 18-year-old kid. There's 2 occasions that have just come to my mind. So I was an 18-year-old kid trailing my dad around, right? Yeah. And Dad back then, like, he was doing good and we're dealing with some people. But twice, I remember talking to a businessman. This was one of the rudest things I've ever experienced. I'm talking to him, and he's literally done this. He's about a foot away from my face. He's done that. He's put his hand in my face and then started talking to somebody else. That happened.
He didn't touch your face.
No, but he basically like shut up, and then he started a new conversation with somebody else. Never forget that.
Do you remember his name?
I do. If I won't name
him out.
Oh, well, he'd probably beg to come on this podcast now, and that's the irony.
What's his name?
I'm not going to say his name. But it also happened once. I've had the door shut on me too, going into a meeting. Like, I held the door for these business people, and then I went in behind, and they just shut the door as if to say, well, we don't need the kid in here.
Oh, that's a bit mean.
That's just...
Yeah.
So well done. This is another one. This is obviously very specific. When your sister knows she's staying over and still asks for undies, bra, jumpers, PJs.
So you're not bringing your own clothes with you?
Yeah, you're just like, I don't know if it's
Siblings.
rude. If it's siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And obviously, Sammy said a good one too before, and I was thinking about this yesterday. When you're walking down a footpath and there's 3 people walking abreast, I knew that'd make you laugh.
Breast.
Do you even know what that means?
Yeah, breast.
Yeah. I find that, and if you're walking slow at a leisurely rate, that's rude.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Nah, I find that frustrating as well.
Yeah.
This one shits me really, really bad.
Yeah.
When you're having a conversation with someone, and there's lots of people that do this. I remember someone who was like an ex-girlfriend's mum.
Yeah.
She always did this. You would share a story, she would have to one-up you. Always.
I know. Yeah.
It was not even acknowledging what you just said.
We had a big
Ignoring what you just said and sharing their own anecdote, that's better.
Do you remember the famous one we went through in England?
Oh, yeah.
Like that was unbelievable. Dos poured his heart out to this woman. We can't even give context to who it was, but basically Dos told a pretty emotional story where she basically, and it was a 5-minute story. It was
about
on the lengthy
death.
side. About death and family. So it's obviously very, and then she just barely acknowledge. She said, "Oh yeah." Oh, and then just went on.
That happened to me.
That and it was her story was not even half as sentimental, but just brushed off what you said.
That really,
You were fuming for a good 48 hours.
48 hours, was it? 2 days?
A couple of days of that. Anything else?
I couldn't think of anything more rude than that, to be honest.
That's pretty rude, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah.
Do you have any others?
No, that's about it for me. We got to keep time constraints.
I've got one more.
Go, one more.
It's people when they talk loudly on the phone.
Yep.
But not just. I swear, there's people that talk loudly, especially business people, like people that are doing things, deals, or that they're in a cafe or they're on a plane, and they got their AirPods in, or they're in a line, and do the 6 million, do the deal. Like people that are just trying, they want you to know that,
half the time I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think AirPods, for example, when people walk around the gym in the AirPods and they're talking like they're doing business meetings, like, come on.